let's talk about something that creates a ton of unnecessary anxiety for so many people. It's this quiet belief we have about cash, that holding on to it is somehow lazy. Well, we're here to reframe that whole idea and see cash for what it really is, a crucial part of your financial structure.
Does that sound familiar? You know, that little voice in the back of your head that insists every single dollar you have needs to be out there, working, grinding away, always chasing a return. It's this nagging idea that any cash just sitting there is a missed opportunity.
And here's where the real trouble starts. That emergency fund, the exact thing you built for peace of mind, this belief can twist that feeling of safety into a feeling of guilt. All of a sudden, being prepared and responsible feels like you're being unproductive.
So let's just put a name on it, right? Let's call it what it is, the guilt of holding cash. And before we can get rid of it, we really need to understand what it's all about.
I mean, think about that for a second. For so many of us, the internal stress about not having every dollar invested can actually be more painful than when the market itself takes a nosedive. It's a completely self-inflicted pressure, and it's time to deal with it.
So how do we start to fix this? Well, it all begins with making a really crucial distinction. We have to separate the idea of return from the idea of value, because trust me, they are not the same thing, not even close.
And hey, let's be honest, this criticism is totally true, right? We all know that cash sitting in a savings account isn't going to make you rich. It's the #1 argument against holding cash, and it's valid, but it's also completely missing the entire point.
Okay, so here's the key difference. Return is all about growth. It's about putting your money to work for the future. But the value of cash, that serves a totally different purpose. Its job is to provide stability, to hold the present steady so that your whole financial life doesn't fall apart.
Think about it like this. Do you expect a financial return from the foundation of your house? No way. Does your insurance policy pay you dividends? Of course not. A seatbelt doesn't compound interest, but these things provide incredible value. They are the structures that prevent a total catastrophe and allow everything else to function safely.
So if the job of cash isn't to be some high-growth investment, then what is its actual job? Let's get really clear about its true purpose in our financial lives.
This right here, this is the big mental shift. You have to recategorize cash in your mind. Stop thinking of it as a bad investment and start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerful tool. A tool for stability, for flexibility, and for choice.
So what does this tool actually do? Well, 3 incredibly important things. First, it's a shock absorber. It soaks up all the bumps and volatility life throws at you. Second, it stops you from being forced to sell your real investments at the worst possible time. And third, it gives you the amazing power to just wait.
And let's not just brush past that last one. In a world that is constantly screaming at you to do something, to react right now, the ability to pause, take a breath, and assess things without panic, well, that's a strategic superpower, and that is what cash buys you.
All of this, everything we're talking about, it leads to one ultimate benefit. It's the whole reason we try to get our finances in order in the first place, a genuine sense of calm.
Just look at the difference here. A financial life without cash is all about urgency and fragility. You're constantly reacting, always on edge. But a life with a cash buffer, that's about calm. It's about resilience. It's about having the time and the space to actually think. And this is so important to get. That feeling of calm isn't just luck or something you're born with. It's an engineered outcome. It's the direct result of a financial structure you have intentionally and deliberately built for yourself. Cash is literally the breathing room for your financial life. It's what gives your long-term investments the time they actually need to grow. It's the buffer that lets you handle income disruptions without a full-blown panic. And honestly, it gives your life permission to be messy and imperfect, because it will be.
So where does this all leave us? It brings us to one final, really powerful shift in our thinking. It's about moving away from apologizing for our cash and toward using it with intention.
Seriously, let that one sink in. You never have to apologize for your cash position again. Not to yourself, not to anyone else. It is not a failure to optimize.
Instead, it's a strategic asset that you place with purpose. You're not just holding cash by accident. You are positioning it as a fundamental tool to build the stability that lets everything else in your financial life succeed.
And that, of course, leads us to the next big question. If cash is this powerful tool that we place intentionally, then the real question isn't if we should have it, but where does it belong to be the most effective? Unstructured cash can cause problems, but structured cash, that creates freedom. And figuring out that structure is exactly what we'll dig into next.